All right, guys, welcome back into another PGA DFS video. Going to be going over the fades and value plays here for the Valero Texas Open. I didn't start off the core plays video, kind of patting myself on the back for last week's stuff. Was on Brian Harmon a lot, who was the strokes gained total leader. Kind of sucks that the tournament was like that for him. He played really well. And then Billy Horschel was an Elite 8 pick who ended up winning it. So if you kind of ended up on those two guys, you were in pretty decent shape as a whole. But really, the big stuff was last week at the Corrales Putacana Resort and Club Championship. Really dominant week across the board there. If Justin Suh had just not had that poor Sunday round or Saturday round where he went +5, would have been a huge week. Overall, still a great week. 90% of the player pool made the cut. The only two that missed the cut were tagged as GPP only plays. Hank Lebioda and Rob Oppenheim were the only missed cuts. Had Sam Ryder top 10, had Emiliano Grillo, Charlie Hoffman, Justin Suh, bunch of other good picks as well. So Corrales Championship was a solid week. Kind of just dominate on those type of tournaments. But let's get into the fades for this week. Just Scotty Scheffler, obviously just coming off of a lot of golf there. Won't even be surprised if he ends up withdrawing this week. That's the worry with him. And the same thing with Matt Kuchar. Matt Kuchar has been absolutely horrible this year, guys. Guy got hot during a match play tournament. That's really what it comes down to. Does have decent course history here, though. Has made 4 straight cuts here, but he's been horrible. He had one good tournament, and that was the Dell match play tournament, which to me, I'm not even really looking at thus far. I mean, the tour hasn't even come out with the results on their page, okay? They don't even care about it as well. But we just look at the whole season or the last 3 months. Either way, it's not going to look good for Matt Kuchar. He ranks out as someone that should be a value play, and we're going to have to pay up for him because he has okay course history and he's coming off of a good week. I don't want to chase that this week with Matt Kuchar. I don't think that you guys should. And also, he's another one of those guys that had just come off playing a ton of golf. Not going to be worth the risk to me. And then we get into kind of an obvious fade. Joel Damon here, who was horrible. And I did end up on him last week, okay? He was a low exposure play. And the only reason why I was on him is because I thought that he could potentially win. Obviously, he did end up winning. But that was his only good event. And I wish we had strokes gained data for that tournament. We do not. That's the unfortunate side of it. But he already mentioned how he's going to be out and drinking and whatnot, celebrating his victory. He's going to be treating it like a victory will never come again. We can see just based off his stats that he is grading out as someone that should be like a 6.5K play this week and not someone that should be an 8K play. So for me, that's kind of more of an obvious fade. Then we go down into Gary Woodland. He is going to be my final fade of the week. We'll pull up Gary Woodland on the specialist page here. So Gary Woodland, he's been playing a little bit better over the past 3 months, but still not playing well. Grades out as someone that should be right around the cut. And I feel like a lot of people are just going to see his name, see the price point and kind of see the tournament and say, hey, yeah, I'm going to be on Gary Woodland this week. So I'm a little bit worried about Gary Woodland as a play this week. And then I do want to get into the value side of it. So we'll start with Roger Sloan here. Roger Sloan, I really like at his price point, 6.7. Now, he doesn't have the best course history. That's because he missed one cut here. But we look at his recent form, 3 straight top 25 finishes, and he's made 5 out of his last 6 cuts on tour. That's pretty good. For average finish of 43rd. We look at the stat fit. That could be a little bit better as well. Top 25 in the field, though. That's not horrible. I'll take that for a value play, and he grades out as a top 37 stat fit. The value plays are not really that great this week, but as we've seen, the value plays really do hold a lot of value. Of course, but they really do. They have this year, so I really do like Roger Sloan as a pick this week. And then I will be going back to the well with Jim Furyk. I kind of pulled him up on the core plays video. He really just struggled with his total accuracy. That was really the only slight knock on his game that was worse than his norm. I don't expect him to be that inaccurate again this week. If he just improves a little bit, he's going to make the cut like he did pretty much every other event. He just missed the cut by 1. We look at he ranks top 5th in the model. Okay, that's because he had been a good stat fit, has decent course history here as well. Top 30 finishes, and that's because he's a smart player. He avoids the bogeys, he's able to hit the ball where he wants to. Overall, Jim Furyk is going to be another quality play for us this week. I really don't mind him as a pick. And then there was one other value play that I did want to bring up to you guys. Let me just find him here. Oh, yeah, it's the former winner, Kevin Chappell here. So Kevin Chappell finally came into some good form, if you will, at the Honda Classic, top 15 finish. Thing that we like about the Honda Classic, it is a little bit more difficult of an event, And so is this event. He's had a 30th, a first, and a fourth place finish. Stats are going to be horrible for him. He's just one of those plays where you just kind of hope that the course history comes back for him and he plays well. Then the last value play I want to touch on is going to be Nate Lashley. Missed the cut here in his first attempt, but has been playing some good golf recently. Going to pull him up on the specialist page because, you know, his season-long stats are not going to be indicative of how he's been playing this year. So we're going to pull him up here for you guys. As we can see, he's been playing much better recently. I like Nate Lashley a lot as a value pick this week. All right, but let's get to the end screen. That is all I have for you guys this week. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and subscribe. Definitely make sure to check out that core plays video as well as the betting picks and also the stroller shrug and sleeper picks for this week.